ChatGPT is going to destroy how we create content. I've seen this firsthand in video script writing, and I want to show you how I use it to speed up my process. But at the end of this video, you can decide for yourself if this is something you want to implement too. I typically save anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour per script using ChatGPT, and I'll show you the exact prompts I use and examples of the extra insights it provides. So when I write, especially when I'm typing, I tend to ramble. My sentences get long and they just need a little bit of editing. But going back and making everything concise, fixing spelling errors, that's just a waste of time. Traditionally, you'd need an editor or you'd have to do it yourself. But now with AI, we have tools that can handle this for us, allowing us to move faster. This is what leverage looks like. And if you're not using ChatGPT like this, you're missing out. So here's how I use ChatGPT to supercharge my content creation process. I plug my script into ChatGPT with this prompt. Please format this script properly and make sentences concise where possible without losing the original meaning. Do not add any new information or your own inputs. I want this to be my original work, just condensed and edited correctly. Feel free to tweak the wording of that prompt, but I've saved this as a keyword trigger in ChatGPT. So if you don't know what that means, in ChatGPT, if you say, whenever I say this keyword, operate in this way, it will actually remember that and it will operate in that way. So I use YouTube script polish as my keyword trigger. It's not the most creative, but it works for me. So whenever I type that and then I paste my script, ChatGPT automatically follows that prompt I just said, and it essentially polishes up the script for me. Now, the last part of this prompt is crucial. You must ensure ChatGPT does not add its own content or alter the original meaning, and here's why. I believe authentic content requires two things. One, the founder is directly involved in the process, and two, the founder's original thoughts and stories aren't changed or shaped by external parties, whether that's ghostwriters or AI tools. So this prompt helps me to polish up my script, get rid of spelling and grammar errors, and condenses any longer sentences into succinct thoughts. Does using AI to assist your content creation process make your content less authentic? It's okay to use help from people or even AI when you're creating your content as long as the original story and message are preserved. That's what keeps content authentic. So think about big personal brands like Alex Hormozy, Patrick Bet-David, and Cody Sanchez. They have large teams that help them, but they stay authentic because they dictate what the content is about. Their teams don't inject their own ideas. They don't shape their ideas. They don't change the wording. They're just executing on the founder's vision. So when you let ghostwriters or AI create your original content without your personal input, the authenticity fades. The content no longer represents your voice and can come across as fake. Audiences can tell when creators are just reading someone else's script and it just breaks trust. I would be pretty disappointed if I found out a creator that I respect wasn't sharing their own words or ideas. Now, don't get me wrong. This doesn't mean a creator has to jot down every single word on a script. They could use bullet points or they could freestyle as long as the core message comes from their own stories, thoughts, and experiences. And let's be real. If someone else is handling the ideation and scripting, what are you really contributing? You're just a figurehead, someone on camera reading a script without personal input. That's not authentic, and that's puppet-like. So here's another idea of how to use ChatGPT. I've set up a script called Script Analysis, where ChatGPT helps critique my scripts. The purpose of this is to provide a detailed critique, helping identify areas for improvement. The process is that ChatGPT will help point out unclear or confusing sections, offer in-depth feedback to enhance storytelling and scripting skills, and focus on actionable advice without changing the original ideas. So this is what a great editor would do. Instead of just saying, hey, there's no good transition here, ChatGPT can actually identify where the script feels abrupt. Where does it fall short? So the prompt I give ChatGPT to build this script was, make a new script called Script Analysis. Whenever I say that, I will paste the script. I want you to critique the script and point out issues where things might be unclear, confusing, etc. I want to know areas of improvement and how it can be made better. I want in-depth explanations so I can learn how to improve. Now, it already knew from my previous conversation history that I never wanted ChatGPT to alter my content or add its own ideas, so that's why I didn't feel the need to say it again. But if you have not said that before, it's super important you make sure you tell ChatGPT that, so that way you can keep your content authentic and it does not add its own original thoughts, because that's what you don't want. So there's a couple of examples of where ChatGPT was extremely helpful. So I'm just going to have that screenshot up here and you can see that. But just look at the screenshot together. Essentially, I asked it, like, for the script analysis, like, areas for improvement, and this is what it gave me. Clarify that transition from your personal story. So the shift from explaining the personal or storytelling to diving into your personal story could be smoother, and it gives me a suggestion. This, I think, is a fantastic idea. Whether you want to use a suggestion or not is up to you. The next one is I had an example from Nike when I was talking about storytelling. I have a video about storytelling that's coming out So I'm going to have it on the platform shortly. I'm going to record that today and put that out as well. But ChatGPT says, hey, storytelling about Nike feels a bit disconnected from your main point because you talk about full stories, and then talk about emotion in stories, but you say Nike doesn't tell full stories but taps into emotion, so it could be a bit confusing. And I'm like, actually, you're right. That's a really great point because I don't think Nike tells stories. I think they share emotions really, really well, and people confuse that with stories. And again, that's something I'm going to dive into in a different video altogether. And it says, oh, you repeat the phrase in the trenches. Well, one, I love that phrase, so I don't care. I'm going to keep saying that because I love that phrase. And if I said it twice in like a 10-minute video, I don't think that's a big issue. So I just totally ignored that. I didn't even like care. But it was cool that it mentioned like, hey, you said this word twice. It could be repetitive, and that's something you want to just keep in mind. So here's an example where ChatGPT fell short. It tells me like, hey, your script is engaging, relatable, well structured, yada yada yada. And I said, hey, where's the last piece of the script where I gave listeners, and look at all my spelling errors, right? This is why I need the ChatGPT. But where I give listeners 2 examples of how they can implement a story. So when I talk about my storytelling script, I put 2 examples at the end where how you could put a story into a B2B context. And I asked ChatGPT, where are those examples? Because you totally did not talk about them at all. And it's like, oh, you're right. It looks like that part wasn't included in the script analysis. So what does that tell us? It tells us that ChatGPT can and will make mistakes. We should not rely on it 100% to create content for us or even analyze content for us. We should always have a watchful eye and triple check and verify that it's doing what it's being told to do. But even with that additional extra oversight you have to provide, you are still supercharging your content creation process because you are getting so much time back that you can use a bit of that time to provide oversight and then use that time for something else. I think overall it's a net positive. It's something that I use pretty frequently for my scripts. I think it works great. If you want to try it, I would definitely recommend giving it a go with these scripts. But the bottom line is that these tools are only as powerful as you make them. With AI, it's easy to let it create content for you, but I urge you to stay disciplined. Use it as a human editor, not as a creator. You can even create custom prompts or scripts that tell ChatGPT to never alter your content or input new ideas, and this helps maintain your authenticity while gaining leverage. So authenticity should always come first. It's fine to use tools or rely on others, but make sure the core message is yours. If you value honest insights from someone in the trenches of video marketing, hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to me and shows me that I'm on the right track. Peace.